Think about the last time you decided to change your life. Maybe it was a new morning routine, a commitment to read more books, or a plan to study a new skill. The first day feels incredible. You have an abundance of energy, your goals look clear, and success feels guaranteed. But fast forward to day 5 or day 10. The initial excitement has completely faded. Suddenly, waking up early feels heavy. The book stays on the table, and your brain manufactures a dozen logical reasons why you can skip just one day. Before you know it, you have quietly abandoned the goal entirely. We usually look at this pattern and assume we lack discipline. We blame our character. But if you look closely at behavioral design, you realize that you aren't broken. You simply fell into a predictable psychological trap that claims 99% of new habits. To change this loop, we have to understand the difference between novelty and momentum. When you start something new, your brain is fueled by novelty. Novelty provides a temporary spike of easy energy. It makes the initial step effortless. The mistake we make is assuming this initial feeling will last forever. We build our long-term plans based on how we feel on our best day, but real life doesn't happen on your best day. Real life happens on the days when you are tired, overwhelmed, or bored. When the novelty runs out, you enter what psychologists call the friction phase. This is the exact moment where the habit changes from an exciting idea into actual work. Most people quit here because they believe the sudden resistance means they are doing something wrong. They think, if this was the right path for me, it wouldn't feel this miserable. But the resistance is actually a sign that you are doing something right. It is the biological boundary where real growth begins. If you want to stop quitting, you have to expect this drop. You have to design a system that carries you through the friction phase when your feelings refuse to cooperate. The secret isn't to fight the resistance with raw willpower. The secret is to lower the barrier to execution so low that it becomes impossible to fail. The most effective tool to survive this drop is a concept called the 2-day rule. The rule is simple. You are allowed to miss a habit once due to emergencies, fatigue, or life getting in the way. But you are never, under any circumstances, allowed to miss it 2 days in a row. Missing one day is an isolated event. Missing 2 days in a row is the exact birth of a new, negative habit. When you break the chain for 2 consecutive days, your brain performs a rapid adjustment. It realizes that skipping the task is now an acceptable option, and the internal friction to restart doubles. By committing to the 2-day rule, you protect your baseline momentum even on your worst days. If you don't have the energy to read a full chapter, read 1 sentence. If you don't have time for a full workout, do 5 push-ups. Just don't let the calendar show 2 blank spaces. This brings us to the ultimate shift in your self-improvement strategy, choosing systems over goals. A goal defines the finish line, but a system manages the daily friction. When you focus entirely on the goal of losing 20 pounds or writing a book, your brain constantly measures how far away you are from the target. This constant gap creates quiet discouragement. But when you focus on the system, simply doing the bare minimum to maintain the identity today, you take the emotional pressure off your mind. You don't need permanent, massive motivation to change your life. You just need a system that survives your worst days. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions or the sudden burst of inspiration to fix your routines. Embrace the boring, messy, middle phase of building momentum, because the person who can manage the most regular, unglamorous consistency always wins the long game. If you want to stop breaking the chain and start building habits that actually last, subscribe to My Growth Theory. Let's break the friction and become 1% better every single day.